It's really easy for a video game to slip through the cracks these days. Even if it does manage to be seen by a lot of people, if it doesn't have something memorable about it, players will just let it become another one of dozens of games they played in any given year. But there are a lot of ways to make people remember a game. And the one I want to talk about today is landmarks. Things in games that, while they don't actually exist in real life, give the fictional world a real sense of place. Something your focus goes to immediately. Something you see a lot. Something that sticks in our minds so that a decade or two from now, we'll still remember our experiences in that world. Here are just a few that have been stuck in my brain.
Round 1, fight.
White Gold Tower is probably the most obvious choice. Oblivion was an incredibly successful game, played by millions of people, and while it was a rich world filled with unique quests and characters, a lot of the world looked like this. So how do you find your way around? Ignore that compass for a second, and your map. That's right, you look to White Gold Tower. Not that it's supposed to be used in a navigational sense, but it stands as representation of the strange yet familiar world of Oblivion, as well as a fully realized slice of lore from the Elder Scrolls series, since it marks the location of the Imperial City. And you know what? I take back the thing I said about navigation. It was cool wandering around Cyrodiil and stumbling across that thing sticking out of the ground. You could see it from, everywhere. The Citadel is a masterstroke of game design. Need I say more? Oh, I should? Alright then. It's one of the first things you see when you start the game, and it instantly tells you something is very wrong. Seeing that thing in the middle of the city? It's weird. It's so obviously alien, and not the kind of alien you dealt with in the original Half-Life. Nobody really explains it because it's been part of their world for so long. It's just there, all the time. And the huge mystery of what it is and what it's for just gets bigger in your mind as you see little things it does throughout the game, like making strange noises and launching ships. So when you finally do get to go inside, it's as exciting as it is terrifying, and the payoff is so worth it. Well, until the end of episode 2. But I'm not talking about that. Okay, so let's take it to the next level. What's bigger than a tower? How about a city? Fallout New Vegas is my favorite entry in the franchise. The gameplay from Fallout 3 mixed with a larger emphasis on characters and side missions. It's a winning combination. But it does contain a lot of this. That's to be expected from a place called the Mojave Wasteland, but I think we all knew something bigger was in store. And indeed there was. The city of New Vegas was untouched by the war, and it still has power. So it represents a rare piece of the world as it was before. Which isn't necessarily the best thing, because Vegas was known as Sin City for a reason, and there aren't a lot of good, wholesome people to be found on the Strip. But still, the city is there, and it looks beautiful. It's visible across the majority of the wasteland, too. Crap, I kind of backed myself into a corner, didn't I? I went a step bigger from tower to a city. So what's bigger than a city? Oh, I know. Let's do a planet. More specifically, a moon. More specifically specific, Mun. Am I pronouncing that right? Ah, screw it. Kerbal Space Program, the ultimate failed rocket simulation game. Yes, of course, I know it's more than that. I just had trouble getting off the launch pad most days. And it's definitely grown a lot since it was first released on Early Access. Congrats, Squad, on the recent 1.0 release, by the way. But the goal has always remained the same. Get to the moon. Those other planets? Maybe someday, when we know what we're doing. But that moon right there, Well, that's close enough to taste. That's close enough to strap a tin can to a rocket and just hope for the best. An attainable goal for the everyman, tantalizing, ever-present, and the very first step toward real space exploration. Now I just have to hope that I can get there someday. So, taking it up a notch again. The Galaxy and Mass Effect series was... I'm just kidding. I don't think I can go that big and refer to anything as a landmark, so let's scale it down a bit. While Liberty City is memorable in itself, it can't really be considered a landmark since it's where the entire game takes place. However, if you look over there, right, just a little, okay, right there. The Statue of Happiness from Grand Theft Auto 4 is one of the most recognizable satirical objects in the game. There's nothing else that makes me feel more at home and more creeped out than seeing this statue. I know what it's supposed to be, but just look at its face. How would you like staring at that all day? You wouldn't. Though there is a mission that takes place here, it's basically inaccessible for the most part. Just kind of does its thing out there in the ocean, staring at you. Even creepier is the dark secret it holds inside. But I'll save that for another video. What the heck. Let's throw one more planet in before the end of the video, shall we? Well, it's not a planet. It's a moon. Specifically, this guy. Oh, man. Still creeps me out to this day. Yes, the moon in Majora's Mask holds less of a mystery and more of an, crap, we're all gonna die thing. Watching it get closer and closer over the course of the game is a constant reminder that you're on the clock. Even more so than, the actual clock in the game. For the most part, it's always visible, and when you actually do get to go to it, it's not exactly the best day ever. But it's always there, and can't deny that it's a landmark. Yeah, I really want to stop looking at this thing now. So, what do you guys think? Any huge landmarks I missed? Places in games that just scream out that you're in a unique and interesting world? Or just a place you always love coming back to? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.